All right. It's been a while since I did a too tall Toby, but I 3D printed something earlier today, and it kind of got me in the mood to do some 3D modeling today. So I'm gonna hop back on the saddle and give it a shot. I'm filtering to some free ones that I haven't completed. I figured I'd go for tier 4. A little difficult for me. I can't even imagine what like a tier 10 is. Um, and maybe I'll do a couple today if this goes well. But I was thinking I'll do this tier 4 from. Um, looks like it was released. Let's see, last year in April. So let's give it a shot. Like all my videos, I've never seen this one before. Um, I like to record these live so that you can kind of see how I work through problems as opposed to me just like power blasting through this to try and do it as quickly as I can. I'm not a speed modeler. I'm more just, I like to tinker and problem solve. So let's give this a shot. I'm definitely going to take longer than that. We'll see though. All right, looks like some kind of phone holder. 3 printed phone stand. Okay. So the first thing you always got to check is the unit system. So it's in millimeters. That is good. All right. So right off the bat, what is jumping out at me is that this is probably going to be one of those where you just want to sketch out this perfectly, extrude it, and then we'll, create this hole at the end, as well as this little wedge here. Both of those wedges, it looks like. So what I'll start with is going ahead and creating this sketch and extruding it, and then we'll jump to the different holes and wedges that we have to cut out. So where are we? We're going to create a new sketch, and I will do it on this plane. Let's make this a little bit bigger now that we kind of know what we're doing. Let me zoom in on this. All right, so let's go ahead and get it done. So we know that this bottom line is 70. Looks like we have another line that is going up, and the height. Oh, every time I have a slightly smaller fusion, I get lost because my buttons don't show up. There we go. So we'll do here, here, and we'll set that to, I think it was 80, 81. So you gotta be careful. If you get these messed up at the beginning, you are screwed. Okay, and then we got another one here that's 47. There we go. Whoa. I don't know what I said, but it's not right. There we go. We have another one that's 23. And then another one that is 9. Make these a little easier to read. Okay. Now we can figure out these angles. So this angle is supposed to be 29 degrees. Boom, 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 29. And this one is supposed to be 75 degrees. Boom, boom. Okay. I suppose that what I'm doing is sort of outlining the outer line, and then the inner line would just be an offset. We'll have to figure that out. That might actually come back to bite us. We'll see. All right, so we can set this curve to R7. Suppose that'll be a fillet on the line, which I don't normally do, but oh, it's interesting. I want this and this to be not coincident. We want basically like a tangent line from here to here. And we want this and this to be tangent. It's not letting me do tangent. Oh, did that get fixed? There's the line that I wanted. Okay. So we want this to be tangent with this. Or this, I should say. And then we want I'm already stuck. I'm noticing it's sort of clipping into the I don't know. Let's try that. Let's set this and this to be vertically. Okay, that's constrained. Again, I don't think that was probably the best way of doing it, but as long as you get there, you know, it's all that matters. We'll do another fillet. This is an R7. And we want this and this to be coincident, but it's constrained somehow. What are you constrained by? Is it that? Well, I don't know why that's a construction line. Why was that? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I can't just say distance from here to here. Yeah, no, I I need something up here forcing a tangent line. How would a smart person do that? Whoa, what was that? How did that snap over? We'll figure that out later. So I'm going to get rid of a bunch of these dimensions that are just going to have to get readjusted later. All right, so let's do this. Let's create a horizontal construction line, and we'll make these coincident. I mean, I'll coincident this to that. There we go. And then let's make these what am I looking for? I want this to be perpendicular to that. Not tangent. Is tangent what I want? I guess, yeah. Because it's a curve. I think that about does it. And then we want the distance between this and this line. Well, what happened? This and this we want to be 81. So that's constrained fully. Now thinking about this, if we follow this line around, it's actually, we're not going to be able to figure out we're not going to be able to constrain this distance yet until we offset over here and then bring this to create this line, and then we can do the 47 dimension there. But I can put in the R2 fillets. Yeah. Good. And another fillet here. I don't know why they're showing up as construction lines every single time I do that. All right, I keep messing that up. 2. Okay. Great. All right, now I think if we do the offset, of 3 minus 3. We've now got that line going around. And so we can finally set let's go ahead and remove this dimension. That's wrong now. And we can go ahead and remove this. That's pointless. We want to connect these. We want these to be perpendicular. Okay. So now I just need to do the distance between here to some tangent line that's parallel with this line. So if I connect this line, it'll be a construction line. And I say I want it to be parallel with this. And I say I want this to be tangent with this. Why is that constrained? Oh boy. No, we don't want that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove this line. I think I accidentally put it on the midpoint, and that's making this more difficult than it needs to be. All right, so we got this line. It's going to be parallel, and we want this and this curve to be tangent. Or sorry, this line and this curve to be tangent. Okay. And then we want this distance here to be 47. And then we're going to do something similar here. It's a little bit easier because we got two lines. We're going to set that to 23. Holy moly, it was a journey, but we got there eventually. Oh, let's connect this down here. It should turn blue as soon as I do this. No, you're not closed? Surely you're closed. Oh, that was a construction line. There we go. And I think it's fully constrained. I can't move anything. Oh, that shouldn't be movable. And that's supposed to be 9. Okay. This is why we test things. So we want this distance here to be 9. Okay, can't move that. Can't move anything over here. We're fully constrained, baby. So we'll extrude that out 76. That's looking pretty good to me. Okay. Now what? Let's do some holes. "16 diameter circle etched on bottom face and cut through." Well, that's pretty helpful. So we'll go to our bottom face, create a sketch. And we will project this guy. And now I have that line, I can grab my circle and grab the midpoint and set this diameter, I forget what it was, 12, actually I think it was 16. Yep, okay. And then we just gotta extrude this and this. I mean, we can do the whole thing, whatever. And extrude this all the way through. We want to be fancy. We can say to object and grab the back of that. In case we change the size of this later. I think that looks correct. All right, and then we've got, this is the bottom face. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on. I think that is the shelf above. So if we go ahead and flip this around to the bottom again, we'll do another sketch. I don't know why, hold on. I don't know why it changed the entire orientation. There we go. So let's project this. And we're saying there is a line connecting and then going down and then reconnecting. And the angle between these is 62. And this isn't constrained, so but we want these to be R4s. We can do that. How are we going to constrain this? We have to set this and this to 50. How is this constrained? Man, it's not at all. So we want this line, this dot to be I wanted to say how would I do this? I mean, one cheap way of doing this would be to just draw two construction lines like this and then set these equal to each other. I mean, that should have worked, but it did not like having to calculate that for some reason. Come on, make them equal. There we go. That should be fully constrained now. Oh, shh. All right, we'll do that too. So we'll just we'll do a couple construction lines here. This is such the wrong way of doing it, but you know, what can I say? I'm a gangster. Set these equal. All right. Wow, that can still move. What would constrain this distance-wise? Let's do the fillets. And then this we'll fill it to 4. I'm still kind of confused how we're constraining this distance-wise. It's saying symmetrical. Oh wait, I didn't even see this line. Okay. So grab this line, do a dimension up here of 32. You know, I don't know if that was how you're supposed to do it, but that I think will do it. It's not close though, which is a bit concerning. Maybe I gotta connect these. Well, what's going on over here? That shouldn't be a construction line. And that shouldn't be a construction line. Hey, okay. All right, so let's extrude that through to object here. Oh boy. And then finally, it looks like we're going to do a sketch on the shelf, I think. So I would actually set up my sketch here. But I want to rotate. I actually don't know how to rotate once you've spun around. Like I want it to be in this orientation and sketch, but then it's having me, there we go, okay. So now I suppose we're doing, oh wait, this is a top-down view. So let's get rid of that sketch. I think we're sketching on this plane. And then I'm going to turn this like that. No. What is the view? AA. Oh. I think it is not a sketch. So I'm looking for it to look like this at this angle, which only seems to be the case. Oh, there, that's how you turn it. Yeah, we're learning things. See, that looks closer to the picture, which makes me feel like this is sketching not on that surface, but on this surface. Let's try one more time. We'll do it on this surface. No. And one more time, we'll try it on this surface. Okay. Whew. Okay. When I start the sketch, it's getting me perfectly perpendicular to that plane. And then I'm trying to rotate it so I can, my brain can look at the diagram the same way, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So, bugger. Just so my brain understands what's happening here, I think this dotted line is the curve. So this line is literally I'm going to back up and go back in. So it is this is the line that we want. So I'm going to project that right here. That gives us this line. And then we're going to have another line here. We're going to connect lines from here to here and here to here. And we'll connect these up. And we'll connect these up. And that should be closed. Oh, we gotta connect those two. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I moved. It's gonna make it so much harder. There's probably a shortcut to have the camera pointing at a particular face that you select. Maybe look at oh, did that just work? if I say look at this, hey, look at that. Perfect. Look at it. Just look at it. All right, and the angle between these lines is 60. I'm going to do my janky equidistant line thing again because I can't figure out a more elegant way to do it because I'm a noob. Boom. And we'll do the same. So we want this distance between those two to be 38. And then we want, I'm going to do my little trick again where I'm going to set construction line between here, 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 and here, and we'll set those equal up. There it goes. That's locked in. I'm going to do an R4 fillet here and here. Those became construction lines again for some reason. All right, I think we did it. I don't know why that's not closed. I'm wondering why it's not closed. Like that's closed. Not even those are closed. Let's hide the body real quick. I should have just done that from the beginning. Is it because there's no line between here and here? Huh. Okay. Let's extrude that through to object. Oh, crap. Okay. We're going to do it to object. I guess we need to do it two sides. Man, I'm on the struggle bus today. All right, we got 2 4 fillets. Any more fillets? Some 8s. What else? Okay, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and set our material to ABS. And then we'll look at our physical properties. We've got a mass of 44.53 grams. Ta-da! Model answer 44. Oh, 0.53. Okay, good. So he does go precise. Or no, that was my answer. I always kind of wonder what the acceptable answer was. Did I only need to say 44.5? Go ahead and submit that. Gorgeous. All right, well, that wraps up that one. Thanks for sharing my misery. So a couple things I want to learn how to get better at. You know, there's this maneuver where they give me the angle. I mean, let's just look at one of these. Why isn't that working? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so they give me this angle and like we know it's supposed to be symmetric, but I can't think of a quick way of saying, hey, I want this angle to meet at 2 points and for them to all be symmetric. There's got to be a quicker way of doing that in Fusion. If I come up with a strategy for how to make that quicker, I will post a video about it. How about that? All right, that's all I got. Ciao.